Somewhere, right now, in a city, in a suburb, in a small apartment with the curtains drawn, someone is comfortable. They are not suffering. They are not struggling. The rent is paid. The routine is familiar. Life is fine. And that is exactly the problem. Comfort feels like safety. But I want you to consider something today that most people never stop long enough to consider. What if comfort is the most expensive place you will ever live? Not expensive in money, expensive in something far more precious. Expensive in time, in identity, in the version of yourself that was supposed to exist by now. I am not here today to tell you to grind harder, or wake up at 5 a.m., or hustle until you collapse. That is not what this is. This is about something quieter, something that does not announce itself, something that does not feel like loss until one day you sit still long enough to feel what is missing. Today, we are going to calculate the real cost of your comfort zone, and I warn you now, the number is higher than you think. Here is what I know about you. You are not lazy. You are not incapable. You are not someone who gave up on life because they stopped caring. You are someone who got comfortable. And there is a difference. Laziness does not care. Comfort is what happens when someone who cares deeply has quietly stopped believing the risk is worth it. You started something once, maybe more than once. A dream, a discipline, a direction. And somewhere along the way, it got hard, or uncertain, or just easier to stop. And so you settled. Not dramatically, not all at once. You settled the way a house settles on its foundation, gradually, almost imperceptibly, until one day the walls are a little crooked and the doors no longer close the way they used to. You did not fall. You drifted. And comfort, left unchallenged, has a way of making itself permanent. Now here is where I need to be honest with you, because being honest with you matters more than being comfortable with you. You already know something is wrong. You have felt it, in the quiet moments, in the pause before sleep, in the flicker in your chest when someone else does the thing you said you would do. You have felt the gap between the life you are living and the life you know you are capable of living. And you have found ways to make peace with that gap, to rationalize it, to call yourself responsible, realistic, wise. But today, I want to ask you a different question. What if you are not being wise? What if you are just afraid? There is an ancient story I want to tell you, not as a religious lesson, as a mirror. It is the story of 3 servants and a master who was preparing for a long journey. Before he left, the master called each servant and gave them something precious to steward. To the first, he gave 5 talents, a talent being a measure of wealth, of resource, of potential. To the second, he gave 2. To the third, he gave 1. Then the master left. The first servant took what he had been given and put it to work. He invested, he risked, he built. By the time the master returned, what was 5 had become 10. The second servant did the same. What was 2 became 4. But the third servant, the one who received the single talent, did something different. He dug a hole in the ground and he buried it. Not out of malice, not out of laziness. Listen to how he explains himself when the master returns and asks what happened. I was afraid. That is the whole explanation. 3 words. I was afraid, and so I buried what I was given. I kept it safe. I protected it from risk, from failure, from the unknown. When the master hears this, he is not gentle. He does not nod with understanding. He says something I have always found to be one of the hardest truths ever spoken. You wicked and lazy servant. Wicked, not foolish, not misguided. Wicked. Because the master understood something that the servant could not see about himself. That burying your potential is not a neutral act. It is not playing it safe. It is a form of theft from yourself, from the world, and from every person who might have been changed, helped, or moved by what you could have become. And here is the part I cannot stop thinking about. The servant with one talent did not waste it on something reckless. He did not squander it or destroy it or throw it away carelessly. He simply buried it. He kept it safe. He stayed comfortable. And in the end, the master said, even the little he had would be taken from him. That is what comfort does. Over time, it does not just prevent growth. It causes atrophy. You do not stay the same when you bury yourself. You slowly become less.
The courage you were born with fades. The fire that once moved you grows cold. The quiet knowing that you are capable of more, that deep inner belief in your own potential, drains away. Not from failure, not from trying and falling, from never trying at all. I want to talk about the real cost of the comfort zone, because when people discuss what you lose by staying safe, they usually talk about the obvious things. The missed promotion, the unwritten book, the business that never launched. Those things are real, but they are not the deepest cost. The comfort zone does not just cost you outcomes, it costs you identity. The first cost, self-belief. Every time you choose comfort over courage, something happens in you beneath conscious thought. You record it. Your nervous system logs it. Your identity absorbs the message. I am someone who retreats. And the terrifying thing is, the more you retreat, the more retreating feels natural. The more it begins to feel like simply who you are. You are not born without courage, but you have been practicing the absence of it. And like any practice, long repetition produces a result. The result is that you have stopped believing in yourself, not because you failed, because you never showed yourself that you could succeed. The second cost, aliveness. There is a quality that human beings have when they are living at the edge of their potential. When they are building something, becoming something, reaching towards something that genuinely matters. It is difficult to name, but you know it when you feel it. A kind of electricity. A sense that what you do today carries weight. That you are part of something unfolding. When you stay comfortable for too long, that quality fades. You go through the days, you complete the tasks, you check the boxes, but something underneath feels hollow. Like you are performing the motions of a life designed for someone slightly smaller than you. That hollowness is not depression. It is not ingratitude. It is the feeling of a life unlived, a hunger that has been suppressed so long it has started to feel like your natural state. Comfort does not kill you slowly. It numbs you slowly. And a numb life is its own kind of death. The third cost, time. This is the cost no one wants to look at directly. Every day inside the comfort zone is a day you will not get back. I do not say this to produce panic. I say it because the comfort zone has a strange relationship with time. Inside it, time feels abundant. There is always tomorrow. There is always next year. There is always when things settle down, when I feel more ready. But time outside the comfort zone has a different weight. Every day you step into the unknown, you are building something, compounding something. And compound growth in skill, in confidence, in character, in wisdom, is staggering across the years. The person who began 5 years ago, who took the risk before they were ready, who started while they were still afraid, they are not just 5 years ahead of you. They are a different person entirely. I want to ask you something, and I need you to actually sit with it, not let it wash over you and move on. What has your comfort zone actually cost you? Not in theory, not in someone else's life, in yours. Be specific, be honest. No one is watching, no one is judging. What did you say you were going to do 2 years ago that you still have not started? What have you been meaning to become that you keep postponing until a better moment that never seems to arrive? What would the version of you from 5 years ago think if they could see you exactly as you are today? Would they be proud? Or would there be a flicker of disappointment? A quiet recognition that somewhere along the way, you stopped growing? I ask these questions not to shame you. Shame has never built a single great life. I ask them because I believe something that is easy to forget when life is comfortable. You are not placed on this earth to coast. You were given gifts, specific gifts, a way of seeing, of feeling, of creating, of serving, of building that is unlike anyone who has ever lived before you or will live after you. And those gifts were not given to be buried. They were given to be invested. The question is never whether you have enough. The question is whether you have the courage to use what you have been given. Here is the truth about the comfort zone that nobody tells you. It does not ask for much. It never demands. It never threatens. It never says, "Give me your life." It just whispers, "Rest a little longer. Wait until you are more ready. There is still time." And one day you look up and you realize that the comfort zone did not take your life in one dramatic moment. It borrowed it, one small surrender at a time. Today, I am asking you to stop lending it. Not tomorrow, today. Not in some enormous, life-changing gesture. Not by burning everything down. Just one honest acknowledgement of one place where you have chosen comfort over courage. One small step outside the cage you have been calling safety. That is all. Just one.
I want to end with an image. Picture a room. It is beautiful in its way, warm, familiar, everything in its place. Nothing uncertain, nothing sharp, nothing that demands too much from you. But there is a window in this room, and through that window light is pouring in. Not the dim, managed light of safety, but full light. The kind that falls on open ground, the kind that comes with risk and weather and the complete uncertainty of the sky. And you are standing in this room, in this comfort, in this beautiful, quiet, expensive safety. And the window is right there. You do not have to leap through it. You just have to walk toward it. That is all that is being asked of you today. Not perfection, not a complete reinvention. Just movement. Just one honest step toward the light that has been waiting for you. The comfort zone will always be there. But the version of you that could have existed, that version has a deadline. Do not let another year pass where the most honest thing you can say about your life is, "I was comfortable." You were made for more than comfort. You were made for the full weight and beauty of a life actually lived. The talent you were given is not yours to keep. It is yours to multiply. It is time to dig it up. Before you go, I want to ask you one thing. What have you been putting off? It does not have to be grand. It can be something small, something only you know. Leave it in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Because the comment section today is your first act of courage. And courage, even in its smallest form, is where every great life begins.